Sucker Punch gives us a glimpse of Ghost of Tsushima. Epic flaunts their next engine. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are returning in 4K glory. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 231 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name is Garrett Drake. I'm joined online by Preston Pugh.
How's it going?
And Jacob Alka.
Good evening to you, gentlemen, and hello, everybody else.
Man, this is bizarre. Like talking fully with Zoom for the first time for a podcast. We're recording video, recording audio. We can see each other virtually for the first time in a while. It's good to see you, boys. How you feeling tonight?
This is the first time I've ever used Zoom, and I like it.
Yeah, you struggled there for a minute, but you got the hang of it.
Yeah,
fortunately.
I couldn't figure out how to. I had the wrong microphone source selected, and that was like because two of my sources look very similar. And one's for my headset microphone, which I don't have attached, and then I have one that's also similar, and it looks like this. So,
well, Jacob, I'm glad it's working out because you look beautiful as always.
I had to click like the microphone button to actually hear audio in Zoom.
Well, that's a little too much if you ask me, Jacob.
Yeah, that's a lot to ask of me. So yeah.
So I mean, it's a bit weird, but at the same time, I'm glad to see you both. How you guys feeling? I mean, obviously, this is a different format. We got some news to share with the community. How you feeling about it?
How you feeling, Preston?
I'm feeling great.
Yeah, I mean, you look good. You look fantastic.
Thank you. It's good
I
to see
love that
you
shirt
guys.
on you, by the way.
That's one of my favorite shirts you wear, Preston. That bright red and the Georgia colors.
I believe
fantastic.
you were with me when I bought it.
I recall that.
We were in a Kohl's looking for a belt, and I was just taken aback by how expensive belts were in Kohl's. So I just bought this shirt instead.
It's a little disturbing. I remember was that the same day I was trying to buy a Atlanta United shirt I was looking for?
Yes.
Yeah. And I found that long sleeve one. It's a really nice shirt. I still have never worn it.
Yeah.
I haven't had an opportunity. I did buy it, yeah.
Nice.
It looks great. It feels great. But, soccer's canceled for the foreseeable future. So I'm shirtless.
Well, that was fun. But yeah, man, it's good to be here. I'm excited to kind of start up I don't even know what to call it, like a rebirth of ItsObviousGaming.
I would say rebirth, reboot, rebranding are all applicable terms to what we're doing. I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, we have a redesigned logo. That was Jacob. Preston, we got to find the designer's name. I should have prepared for this. So a designer kind of co-designed the logo with Preston and I. We saw it.
I believe her name was Heather.
Heather. Yeah, we're going to link her info in the description if you guys are interested. But recently, the three of us were talking about how we adore ItsObviousGaming. We always have. We've been doing this for how long now? 4.5 years? 4 years?
I think it might be 5-ish years.
Is it 5 years?
I think it might be.
It was 2015, I think.
You're right. It was. So it's been 5 years. That's incredible.
I remember saying something about 4 last year. So I think it's 5 this year.
Yep. 5 years of ItsObviousGaming. And of course, we have an incredible community that has supported us. We love you guys to death through all these years. And we began to realize that we love ItsObviousGaming to the point we love the community to a point where we don't want to just rest for mediocrity every week, or at this point it had been once a month maybe if we were lucky to get a podcast out. And this podcast and this community means so much to us that we didn't want to just sit and carry on that way. So we just got to talking about what would it look like if we return to every Monday at midnight podcast launches weekly, not missing a week, being incredibly organized with our notes, the news, and coming together and just taking it very seriously again. And when I say serious, it doesn't mean we're not going to be ourselves and joke around and have a good time with it, but we just wanted to be consistent, and we thought, what a better opportunity, or there isn't a better opportunity to like rebrand a bit. And we discussed changing our logo, not really changing it, but altering the design a few years back. And we didn't follow through with it, but we thought this is a perfect time for that. So we started brainstorming ideas. Preston sought Heather. She sent us a design, and Preston and I sort of manipulated it into a pseudo rebirth of the original logo. So we hope you guys like it. We love it. We're excited about it. If you guys want access to it, I can send you or provide you files on Discord or something if you want to play around with it. But
we're all stoked. Getting it tattooed on our faces.
Yes.
That's
we've foregone our asses. And if we hit 1 million subs, we'll get it across our foreheads. So that is the goal now. We're still striving for 1 million subs on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, there is a video version now, and it's a new and improved video version. Now, if we aren't recording in person, you will get a Zoom version of the podcast every week. But in addition to that, we're going to add B-roll of everything we're talking about over the video. So it won't just be our dumb faces the whole time. You'll actually get to see what it is we're discussing. I'm sure you've already seen Ghost of Tsushima, probably seen the Tony Hawk trailer, but just for the sake of conversation, we'll throw it up just to make it a more visually engaging experience. So we're going all in. In addition to the podcast, every week we will have hopefully 2 videos, at least one additional video that could either be a reaction, a review, or a let's play that's going to land every Friday, and hopefully a video on Wednesday. So we're shooting for every Monday's the podcast. You can always count on that. Wednesday, possibly a reaction or review, and every Friday is probably going to be a let's play of sorts. And who knows, if we carry on and time permits, maybe we'll get back into streaming at some point. I don't know, but I'm going to shut up about it. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts about the reboot before we carry on into what we've been playing.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it. I've as people that have kept up with us know that my job prohibits me from participating in a lot of podcasts. I mean, there was a stretch of time where I was not on one for like 2 months or something like that, something insane. Or
those are the dark days. Just Jacob and I.
Maybe in those 2 months, like I would show up for one or whatever. But I plan on that not happening anymore. So yeah, I plan to be here every week from here on out. So but yeah, I'm just excited to actually get serious about this, and I hope that if you thought, people that that regularly keep up with us, if you thought that we're falling off, that this excites you to know that all along we've really wanted to get to a point where we could get consistent like we used to be. So
boys are back, baby. We're here to stay. Long live the red and black, as they might say.
Oh yeah. What about you, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just so. Yeah, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot more to add. Like, honestly, you guys pretty much covered it. This is something we like. Obviously, with the logo design, it's something that we've talked about not even just once, but several times. Just because, we were always just looking for new ways to spruce up the channel or just a number of things, and we just feel like now, since all of us now we have a little more time to actually put just more time into the channel in general. So I feel like with the redesign and with a new commitment to providing more content to you guys every week, I feel like not only is it an exciting time to just be a part of the channel, but also I'm just really excited for what the future can hold. So I hope you guys agree with me on that. I know you both pretty much do. We've talked about it several times, and I hope the community is also, wants to see what we come up with, because we have some cool ideas, and I think we're going to make some cool stuff. So
heck well yeah, said. Dude. We are freaking stoked, man. Well, on that note, I think there's no better time than to talk about what we've been playing. Boys, before we talk about what we've been playing, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Kyle Nelson from the community. Kyle, I don't even know if you listen anymore. I'm going to send you a follow-up email after we record this episode, but your jingles have made their way into the podcast. All those riffs you wrote literally 2 years ago, I kid you not, almost to the day, on May 14th, 2019, we had clarified the riffs you had sent over that I said I was going to plug them into the live streams, but they have made their way into the podcast, delineating each segment of the podcast for what we've been playing, the news, and AskIOG. So we're stoked about them. We hope the community enjoys them, because Kyle poured his heart into these. We hadn't listened to them in over a year. They sound awesome. And we think it's a cool way to break up the segments. They're brief, they're gnarly, and we love them, so we hope you guys do. But Kyle, you're the man. Thank you again. And yeah, happy to do it. But gentlemen, I want to hear from you. What have you been playing?
Not a lot, Garrett. Not a lot.
That's a shame. I hate that.
Yeah, which is pretty funny because I've had all the time in the world, but I just haven't played anything, honestly. I still hit my Animal Crossing every morning.
You see that video I sent you earlier?
I did. It was hilarious. Yeah, Gus Johnson. Yeah. He's a funny dude. Anyways, yeah, I hit that every morning. I've been playing Persona 5 Royal when I have the time, and I freaking love that game. So I hope to fully commit to that. Well, I kind of am fully committed to that, being that's the only thing I'm playing, but I'm hoping to commit more time to that in the upcoming weeks and stuff. But yeah, not too exciting on my end, unfortunately. I downloaded Halo 2 on PC. I really want to play that, but
Yeah, you and me both. I'm dying.
yeah, just haven't had any time. But yeah, man, that's really all I can say on my part. Pretty boring.
But you're really enjoying Royal, though. You said it's
Oh yeah,
definitely a better version of 5.
yeah. And I had the itch to replay 5 again, but I held off on it because I knew Royal was coming out. Around the time I was getting that itch again. So I'm glad I held off on that because I don't know, like I've said in past podcasts, I'm really enjoying just all the new things that are sprinkled out during the beginning. It's new enough to make the parts that I've already played in the original still feel new enough to keep me playing, and I'm still excited for the tons of new content that are later on in the game. Excited to get to that. So
Well, dude, here's the best news. I graduate from film school a week from this Tuesday.
Oh
and
boy.
You know what that means. It's time that
Persona 5.
I head back to Tokyo. It's Persona 5
yeah.
time, not just Persona 5, Persona 5 Royal. So I'm very excited for that. I'm a man of my word. I'm going to sit down and play that game. I don't care if it takes me the rest of the year. I'm going to finish it. I got to start from scratch. I forgot everything. I have a rough idea of some of the characters, but I heard there's new stuff. So I'm just very excited. But aside from building up my anticipation for that, I'll probably take a break, honestly, when Last of Us comes out in June. And of course, Ghost of Tsushima in July, which we're going to talk about. But I played a mere dollop of Final Fantasy VII this week. So I basically went into a men's restroom, listened to a meeting, and then I'm in another area of the story, ascending this thing we fell into. So a dollop. But I am going to finish that, hopefully, if not Monday, by Tuesday. Because Monday's actually, this reboot of the podcast, ironically enough, is launching on my birthday on Monday. And I have plans to just kick it and play Halo 2 on PC all day. That's all I want to do. So, because I can't really go out and do much, which, speaking of which, in Atlanta, dude, I was on the Beltline today. I was blown away. I've never seen more people on the Beltline in my life. Every bar was open. The park was open. I mean, people it was like the zombie apocalypse out there. So hopefully we flatten the curve. Nothing's going to happen. But I was in the thick of it, and I'm hoping I didn't get too exposed. But
we'll see.
Anyway, that's all I played. I played one match of Halo 2 on PC. It worked well for me. I've heard controversy that apparently whatever the hit scan is for the aiming on PC apparently isn't responding correctly in multiplayer, but I didn't have that experience. So I'm just excited to play more. But what about you, Jacob?
So you're not playing it with a controller on PC for Halo?
Yeah, dude, I thought about it, but I want to be like a real sick gamer, so I got to play with a mouse and keyboard. But I will say, man, I had always kind of imagined after we got into PC what Halo might truly feel like on PC. And it feels fantastic. And like I said, Halo 1, the first time I ever played it was on PC. So, and I played that long before I played Halo 2 on console. So in a lot of ways, I've come full circle with my time on playing Halos on PC. So it's good to be back.
I get it, man. I haven't really been playing much, honestly. All I've been playing is WoW. That's all I've been playing at all recently. And there's not a whole lot more to report on it, unfortunately. I literally have like a set amount of things that I do every day because they refresh on the daily, so I always go and do them. And they take like maybe a few hours to do every night. And I'll do that, and then I'll get off and I'll just go watch a show, and that'll be it. But pretty much what these things are made up of, and I'm just going and I'm killing bosses over and over again. I'm just trying to get mounts. I'm just in a huge collecting mood, and I don't know why. I just am. But recently I got this little like I posted it in Discord in the WoW section for those that are curious, but I got this little like Frosty made a good comment. It looks like a little General Grievous like motorbike that he used in episode 3. It's sort of like that same design. Yeah. I mean, I think it looks cool as shit, but yeah, like that's one of the cooler things that I've gotten recently. But yeah, I'm basically just going around killing stuff, hoping that I get drops. If I don't, I'll come back tomorrow. It'll definitely drop tomorrow. I keep telling myself.
That's always the hope.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what's fun about it, right? Like I enjoy the grind. I enjoy just, when it does actually drop, like that little like hit of dopamine in the body, just
every time.
It's extremely
I can relate,
satisfying.
Man.
So.
And see, this is what you don't understand, Jacob. We'd be playing Diablo 3, all three of us together, and Preston and I would get some awesome loot and throw it on and be like, guys, keep moving. We're like, no, dude, we got to check out the loot. And you're like, you can check it after the dungeon. But you can't not indulge that dopamine every time it hits, man. You got to check out that loot.
I understand.
Speaking of
Yeah.
which, I hope
the
Diablo
thing was
2
though, like I would be
remaster
getting
happens.
killed by like hordes of demons. You guys would just be over there like fondling yourselves, looking at your gear.
Dude, it's
That's
worth it,
usually
man.
how
You
it
got to
went.
look good while you're slaying demons.
I mean, you're not wrong, but you also got to do a lot of damage. You got to have a nice
I haven't
mix.
had the need to like chase something since the original Destiny, and I miss that. Just those,
Not even
those
Destiny 2?
late- No, not really. There wasn't like a. I mean, Gallarhorn was like. Remember that? Just like the
Yeah.
hunt for that gun was just like that every single week when the refresh hit.
Yeah, we always
like,
did the what was it called?
Nightfall.
Yeah, Nightfall. Thank you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. I
Nightfall
haven't played a
dungeon.
game since then where there was like a weapon or piece of gear or whatever that I was like so obsessed with getting.
Dude, Jacob
So-
was straight trashing Destiny 1 and 2 the other night. What were we doing? We were on Google Hangout before you
Yeah,
got on.
it was-
He was like, just under his breath, he's like, dude, Destiny 2 is like such a letdown. He's like,
It
Destiny
is.
1.
It's
I
a
was like,
huge
what do you mean,
letdown.
man? And he was like, dude, it just sucks, man. It's like, it could have been so much more just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
It's like,
Wow.
dang,
Yeah.
man.
I
We
really
had some
like
good
I'm not
times in
wrong.
Destiny.
Destiny 2.
I'm not wrong. Like that game could have been just so much more. I really feel like.
I'm sure, but I mean, Preston and I were just reminiscing on our Destiny 2 Let's Play we did with, who was there? It was Lemon, it was Trash Can Judo at the time, Pace was there, and all three of us. Dude,
Yeah.
unforgettable.
Oh yeah.
Good times. But
I do remember
gentlemen,
that raid. That was a lot of fun.
it was amazing. I miss doing raids. And I don't know if you caught this, Jacob. I'm hoping Diablo 2 Remastered is a thing, and we
Mhm,
can
I
all
saw
play that
that.
together because I hear it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Never
And I-
played it.
I'm even more excited for Diablo 4. I always read the little. I think they do like a monthly newsletter thing, so I always read it. And they always like talk about new character designs or new monsters. It's really cool.
Right. And this is all stuff we're hoping to see in our lifetime and
Yeah,
experience in our
exactly.
lifetime.
Yeah,
So-
it's coming Blizzard slow, which is never. So
Oh, you know, you get that. I was gonna say British. I mean, British quality is a thing too, but Blizzard quality. I mean, it's worth the wait. Typically,
I mean, Blizzard
you know what I keep
quality
forgetting
use-
about, dude? Is Overwatch 2. That is the
Bl-
dumbest idea I've ever heard of. I could be wrong
I
about
forgot
that.
that was a thing.
I
but-
did too.
Overwatch 2 is coming. I think
Wow.
that's just ridiculous.
Blizzard quality used to mean something, but after
The
just
Activision
all the
marriage.
controversy and Warcraft 3 remastered,
After their evil spouse stepped in, all the magic left Blizzard.
after people
It's
have
a
left the
shame.
company, they don't appear to be what they were anymore. But I
Man,
still
how's old Jeff from the Overwatch team? Is he still as
He's-
jolly as ever?
I watched. I was just curious one day. I was on YouTube. I'm still subscribed to their YouTube channel, so I saw that Play Overwatch put a new YouTube new video up, and I clicked on it. It was Jeff, and he had this gray beard, dude. Like it was so like bright crystal gray.
Yeah, the
And I was like,
criticism
man,
will
you're
just-
you're a beautiful
Criticism
man.
will suck the youth out of you, man. I'm amazed that Neil Druckmann's
looks
still
good, though.
alive at this point. He's not like a zombie. He's not like the
Yeah.
grandma from SpongeBob.
Yeah, but they still seem enthusiastic about the game. I know the community's kind of dwindled over the years, but we'll see what happens when Overwatch 2 comes out. But I don't want to dwindle too long on just talking about nothing. 'cause
Well, that
that's
last
pretty
thing I'll
much what
say
we're
is that
doing.
that game still has a special place in my heart. Great times
yeah.
playing with you.
Like, here's the thing. I love playing Overwatch. It always, like, I'll remember those memories. And I have high hopes for Overwatch 2, obviously, but it just doesn't have a place in my repertoire right now. I just have too many mounts to collect. You know what I mean? Like, I can't separate myself from this other game.
Well, to quote one great scientist, onward and upward. Into the news. You guys want to jump into the news?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Gentlemen, Ghost of not Tsushima, Tsushima is upon us. We've seen a gameplay demo from Sucker Punch, a rather extensive one at that. I'm sure we're going to get more. They are definitely late to the party in terms of marketing their game when the release is in July, but we got a sizable chunk. I'd love to hear your thoughts before I have anything to say. All I'm going to say for now, it looks graphically stunning.
It does look graphically stunning. I can agree with you there. I kind
also
of
agree.
left it feeling like excited, but not
Preston,
as
don't
excited
say
as
it.
I thought it was gonna be.
What do you mean? What were you expecting?
A little more innovation in the gameplay front.
Yeah, it kind of just seems like a Ubisoft open world game, honestly. You just You just go to camps and clear them, and
It's funny you
go
say
to
Ubisoft
question
because
marks
I
and
wrote
do
down
stuff there.
Assassin's Creed enemy alertness because it has like the same little system where the bars growing a little
Yeah,
bit.
and I know everybody's been comparing it to Assassin's Creed, and I get it.
Oh, I thought I was original.
Yeah.
Dang it.
Oh yeah, dude. You're the first time I've heard it. But yeah, I'm kind of just hoping that the actual like narrative missions, the stuff that we haven't seen, or like really bombastic and um cinematic, like you're doing like really cool things and set piece moments and stuff, and it varies up the gameplay more than what they showed us. And yeah, but it was that the exploration looks interesting. I hope there are like actually like cool things to find, not only just like I think he went into a
And like
burned
old
down
shack.
house and he found like some linen or something like
He
that.
found linen
Like
and
crafting
supplies.
materials.
It was
Yeah,
called
so-
supplies.
Like give me like an old like dagger or something when I stumble
Yeah,
in
so
there.
hopefully there's cooler things to find. So
I mean,
that looks
think
cool.
I thought there were some
but-
cool things in the trailer.
I mean,
personally.
that's the thing is like I don't want to. I'm not per se hating on it. It just I think I expected a little more out of it, just in terms of like innovation and stuff. But I'm still probably going to enjoy it a whole lot.
Yeah.
But the other thing that left me kind of a little like I kind of just want to play it to give a verdict, obviously, but watching somebody play it, the combat looked kind of underwhelming as well.
Yeah.
I didn't really, and granted, I didn't understand what was going on. I saw there were different stance types. I don't know like how technical that can get.
Well, what I took away from it was that just some stances will be better against some enemies than others.
Yeah, I think it said that at the bottom or
right.
something.
And I don't know
that,
like what the severity of that's going to be yet. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. It's just it like didn't like look as like as cool as I thought it was gonna look. I don't know. It's still I feel like though
I
a
get what
lot
you're
of
saying.
combat in those games, it's like how it feels and stuff. So
True.
maybe it's when I'm in control of it, I'll have a completely different opinion on it than just watching somebody else play. But I mean, I'm definitely playing as like the Ghost style. 100%. That's definitely my play style.
I wonder if like that's something you're gonna have to evolve into, like they made it seem in the trailer, or if it's like something you can just pick at will, like depending what mission you're doing.
I mean, I'm assuming based on the gear that you have equipped, or
that too.
the talismans or whatever they're called you have equipped, you can just kind of switch
It's
at
just
will.
different ways to play the game in general.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if and this might have been answered, so if it has, please let me know. But if you are playing the Ghost style, if you take more damage, because if you can be stealthy but also be completely capable in just one-on-one fighting, then why would anybody just be a straight up samurai? Besides just having increased health.
Yeah.
So I would love if you're the Ghost, you die in like a hit or two, or you don't have as many moves available to you in combat. So there's like a distinct like difference between different play styles, and they both have their pros and cons and stuff. But and then it was just the whole we burned down the settlement thing that's in like every single open world game. But again, it's like it's fine. It looked cool. I'm gonna get it. Obviously,
Yeah, I think we're all gonna get it,
PlayStation
right?
fanboys. Yeah. But yeah, it was cool, but not as cool as I thought it was going to be. That's pretty much my overall opinions on it.
Okay. What about you, Garrett?
I mean, I share a lot of what you had to say as well. It didn't like get me stoked out of my mind, but I mean, I think what stood out to me most was just how visually beautiful it was.
Yeah.
I thought all like the particle effects and like the leaves and flowers and stuff flying through the air was very pretty.
And the
grass
colors.
swing in the wind, the
Lots of
physics in his
colors.
cape, very colorful as well. The music was also stunning. I thought it was beautiful. So if anything, it'll be like a really cool, visually and audibly immersive experience. Hopefully gameplay will keep us hooked. But like you guys said, there's do seem to be a lot of like trending tropes in that game with open world action games with RPG elements.
That's the thing, though. I think they're doing a lot of things to differentiate themselves from other games in that way, because they're like not doing the whole like pinging system, right? Or they are, but it's like a different way of going about it.
And it'll be interesting to see after we've played the game if that's a gimmick or if it's like innovative, because
I mean, as
it
of
could
now,
just
seems
be
like a visual thing, because at the end of the day, you're going to the location.
it's showing you
know.
where to go.
Yeah, it's like,
and I'm wondering if like that
thing.
wind flying through the air will just drive me crazy after a while. If it'll just I'll like won't even notice it after a while, because once you like see the air that long, like I don't know if it's gonna bother me. Or not.
you activate it, so I guess you.
I have high hopes that it's going to do what they said and it's going to immerse you more into the world, because like that's the first thing that I thought when this game was like. Once we learned a little bit more about it, was like not only does this game look just absolutely gorgeous, but also just the sense of like I want to have another game like a Skyrim, where I just have this big world where I don't know where anything is, and I just want to go explore. I want to see like important things or like interesting things out in the world, and I want to like just be like, I guess Breath of the Wild was sort of like this too, but like I want to see something in the world where I just want to be like, I want to go over there, and I'm going to go over there, and there's probably going to be something over there that's going to be worthwhile for me to go.
Yeah, some lint to craft something with.
Exactly.
It is cool that the animals will like interact with you, and you can pet like a fox, and a bird will lead you to a man at a fire. So I like those elements. I think that's pretty cool. And again, like all the exploration seems like I'm gonna have a lot of fun with all these shrines you found and these mountains you would climb, and these like passageways over logs over the side of a cliff and going into caves. So if anything, it'll be like a ancient Japan exploration and the island of Tsushima.
I'm kind of down for that. That could be fun.
And I get too, like they're heavily inspired by old samurai films, and it seems like the combat is sort of emulating what a samurai film is like, with like the dramatic death animations and stuff. So maybe we'll come to really appreciate it. Again, visually, including the photo mode, is a huge plus, and that was something that really stood out to me, is that it's just a very in depth and gives you full control over not only photos but videos as well, which is pretty cool, and adding all the outside elements in the environment you're in and everything. So I imagine as someone who loves photo modes in games is going to have a ton of fun. I'm probably going to be stopping every 5 seconds to make photos and videos in that game. Kind of like Horizon. Dude, I think I took hundreds of photos in Horizon.
You did it with Spider-Man too.
I did. So I love photo modes in games that look beautiful. So I'm
kind of hand in hand with the photo mode is the black and white mode. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the samurai mode. I might like dabble in that just to humor myself for a bit. I don't know if I could play the full game, because again, it's just so lush. It's like lush with color, and I don't want to miss out on that. But it is cool.
I think it'd be cool to like go through like a boss sequence, maybe. Like kind of like what they showed, where the two guys were in the standoff.
Yeah, but again, I'm sure we're going to see a lot more gameplay prior to it's July. I have it on my phone here.
It's July 17th.
July 17th. So a lot more to come, I'm sure.
The main thing I'm hoping is in this game are like epic one-on-one fights that are kind of like Sekiro, just like swords clashing and stuff.
Yeah.
I really hope something like that's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it probably will be, because I completely forgot, but like the first gameplay demo they actually showed a fight like that. So yeah, it's probably in there. I wish they would have showed something like that though.
Yeah.
Or more.
It's weird in the gameplay, like they didn't really show a whole lot of combat in like what you're talking about, right? Like they showed while he was in the ghost mode, he literally was just assassinating people the whole time. But when he was the samurai, it seemed like he was still killing people fairly quickly. So I don't know if like that's going to just be how it is. Or
I'm actually fine with that. If you stab somebody in the chest, like they should probably die. So I'm
probably
100%. I'm 100% cool with that.
Yeah, like maybe the challenge is going to be like fighting just lots of people at once, or I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kind of just looked a little stiff or janky. It just didn't like look as satisfying as I thought it was going to be. But like I said, maybe playing it, I feel completely different.
And I try to remember what Second Son felt like to play, and it was pretty silky smooth. So I imagine they've done the same with this game, even though it may look like that isn't the case. But I have high hopes for it. Again, the gameplay demo from a gameplay perspective didn't blow my mind either, but it looks pretty, and I look forward to exploring.
I have like full confidence that this is at like worst case scenario, it's going to be like a good game.
Yeah.
So I highly doubt this is gonna like be bad or anything.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Well, speaking of pretty looking games, how about that Unreal Engine 5 tech demo from Epic? Goodness gracious, that tech is quite stunning. Triangles for days. Will we see a game with that tech anytime soon? Probably not, but I'm thrilled to know it exists. How'd you guys feel about the old tech demo that was very reminiscent of a Tomb Raider of sorts, like a magical Tomb Raider?
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say, so I'll go first, I guess. I rewatched it today. After rewatching it again, I thought it was a little more impressive. Actually, I actually just sat there and like took it all, and I was like, okay, this is some of the stuff's really cool. And I learned a lot more about triangles. I'll tell you that much. What did I write down in my notes? I had a few things. Where is it? Oh, when they started talking about the audio, when there was a bunch of rocks falling and stuff in the cave, I thought like that sounded really cool. I know that's a hard thing to like describe how I feel about, but I thought it was like you could tell it was like this was audio that was happening in a cave. These were rocks falling in a cave, and they like fell below, and you could like hear them hit the walls as they fell below. And I just thought that was really cool. And I don't really know if like that's something Unreal Engine 4 can do now, or if like is that why they showed it, because this was the announcement of the 5? I don't know. But I mean, all the lighting was really beautiful.
That's what stood out to me most. The lighting was absolutely stunning, and of course, like the textures of the cliffs and the cave and everything. But the way the lighting interacted with that environment was gorgeous.
And I think they said all the textures were 8K in the demo, so it definitely looked very good.
I do know the demo was running in 1440p.
Okay,
that was like the native output at it. 1440p at 30 FPS.
Yeah, running on a PlayStation 5 dev kit in real time too. So it is a literal playable demo with that tech.
I believe I read it was supposed to be playable at GDC this year.
Yeah.
So
that would have been quite cool. I wouldn't have been there, but for people that would have been able to play that, that'd been awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting to know that tech does exist, and it'll be interesting to see who uses it going forward. And I know we talked about how all of Sony's first-party studios under the PlayStation Studios banner, that Bend is the only one, and Preston brought this to my attention, is the only one that's using Unreal Engine 4 for Days Gone. So the assumption and hope is that maybe they'll utilize Unreal Engine 5 if they're not already for the follow-up to that game.
Yeah. So, we know that Epic is going to convert Fortnite to that new engine.
Are they?
Whenever it, yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
That. Yeah.
I wonder, like, if the art style will change drastically, or if it'll just be far more crisp.
Yeah, I don't know.
If they'll like alter the art style a bit.
Didn't they already rework the engine once when they did that whole when they turned the game off? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much
that
about
might have happened. I don't play the game, so I think I might have heard
Travis
that.
Scott event absolutely blew my mind. Preston, did you see that interview I sent you for Fortnite?
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. Like I totally forgot. I interviewed the original he wasn't the game director, it was some other guy with Epic at the time, but for COG at PAX West 2017, when it was still like Survive the Night mode or whatever, and we were talking about like the weapons update. And not only was it just like cringy to watch myself interview the guy, but I was like, holy crap, this isn't a world where Fortnite the Battle Royale didn't exist. It was a weird time capsule video I stumbled upon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Unreal Engine 5, man, looks pretty gnarly. Speaking of gnarly, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake are on their way in development by Vicarious Visions, published by Activision. I am a longtime Tony Hawk's Pro Skater fan. I have played all of them, but of course, 1 through 4 I'm most nostalgic for. American Wasteland was always my favorite, even more so than Underground, but it's cool that 1 and 2 are being remade from the ground up. With a lot of the same soundtrack too. Not all of it, but a lot of the good stuff. So as a fan, I'm excited. I imagine I'll pick it up on day one, and I look forward to playing it. But does this like really appeal to you guys in any way, shape, or form?
It doesn't appeal to me. I am excited that other people are excited.
Mm-hmm.
So you're excited for me?
Yeah, I opened Facebook for the first time in forever, and like a bunch of people I went to high school with that don't even play games or aren't like playing games consistently and stuff. They were all posting about it, how they were excited. So I think that's cool that people that have a lot of nostalgia for this game are pumped to see it come back.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only time I've ever even played those games, I think, was at Garrett's house. So
Really?
I
You never owned one?
No,
Dude.
I've never been into skateboarding that much, honestly.
Yeah, I had like a short little phase, but I never had like the whole like year span where people were doing it, right?
Oh,
like
man.
I did it for
Yeah.
maybe a
I
year.
was all in, especially when I live in Orlando. I mean, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and Tech Decks are what made me want to be a sponsored
Tech
skater,
Decks.
dude. Etnies, look, check out my sponsor me tape. But Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, man, I was addicted to the first one when I was a kid, and I didn't play it till I had PS1, and it changed my life. It was like the first game that like really stands out to me in my memory of like blowing my mind at the time.
Yeah.
And I will never forget skating. I think it's Warehouse is the first level you can play in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 with Goldfinger by Superman, which is included in the soundtrack and the remake. That is one of the most nostalgic moments of my entire life is playing that.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to relive that. And this isn't something I imagine myself like, I'm going to get the platinum in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I'm going to just play it for hours on end. But for the sake of just the nostalgia and being a fan of that franchise for so long, I'm definitely going to pick it up and support. Because I know Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 tanked, from what I know, got horrible reviews.
Yeah. The only one that I've ever played was Underground 2. And I played that, like, that was one of my first PS2 games. And I absolutely loved that game. Like, I played it so much.
Good times.
Am I necessarily excited for this new game? Kinda. I mean, I don't know if I would like buy it day one and pay full price for it, but it looks fun for like a little bit at the very least. And I could definitely see myself going over to a friend's house and just having a lot of fun.
You come play with me any day, Jacob.
Dude, that would
I'll take you out to dinner, play some Tony Hawk.
Have some drinks and just fool around on Tony Hawk. Yeah.
Dude, amen, man.
It'd be a lot of fun.
Sounds awesome.
Preston can't come though. No Preston though.
I can't. You sure?
He doesn't appreciate Tony Hawk, so.
Dude, no, I love Tony Hawk actually.
Oh.
I'm super nostalgic for that game.
Okay.
I remember, I think I told Garrett this the other night, but the only Tony Hawk game I've ever played like a decent amount of was Underground. Was that the one where you could make your own character and it had
you
like
could
the
do it in
story
Underground,
mode? Yeah.
That was the first Tony Hawk game that had like a story mode with create a character.
Yeah.
That like when you went through the story.
Yeah, so I rented that from Blockbuster on a vacation we were going on. I got it for GameCube. I had this little TV screen that would actually like clip onto my GameCube so I could play in the car. And I was playing that game and I think they said damn or something and my dad freaked out and I was never allowed to play it again. So yeah, that game, I think that game was the game that kept me from playing rated T games for like quite a while because of the language in that stupid game. So
yikes.
You're holding a grudge against the franchise.
You hate to see it. Are you sure you want to come?
It's all Tony's fault.
The collector's edition for this game is really cool. It comes with a like an actual deck. It's only like $100 though, so I don't know if it's a real deck that you can like put wheels on it. I feel like it have to be a little more pricey than that to be real, but
I know Carlos Skates from our community. Carlos Skates Perez is a skateboarder, so if you wouldn't mind, let us know if that is a good board or is it just a trash piece of wood.
Garrett's already got a birdhouse board.
You used to have two birdhouse boards. Is that what it's
called? A birdhouse board?
Yeah, birdhouse. I had two professionally custom-made birdhouse boards when I was a kid and disgraced one of them because I had no idea how to actually skate at the time of receiving it. But when I lived in Florida is when I really got into skateboarding and I could kickflip, I could shove it, I could ollie, I could 50-50 grind, I could go off kickers, I could drop into bowls, quarter pipes, half pipes. That was the extent of my skating career, but I skated with a bunch of kids in my apartment complex, and I was just adamant about nailing the kickflip. It took me months to have like the courage to actually keep the board underneath me when I flipped it, because I landed on my ass, dude, countless times, and like felt like I was going to break my ankle every time. But finally started landing it, grew my hair out, and came back to. You'll remember this, Jacob. First day of 8th grade, because I lived in Florida at the time. Come back for 8th grade to my Georgia home. Go back to my old middle school in like country bumpkin. Cumming, Georgia, right? This shoulder length hair of like neon green shorts on and a Volcom t-shirt, and everyone is like preppy, like Abercrombie, Hollister, Aeropostale, American Eagle, and everyone has like their crew cuts and like their plaid shorts and like their polo shirts. I got made so much fun of on the first day of school, man. I like cut off all my hair, quit skateboarding. it's a huge identity crisis when I came back. So that
Were
ended
you
my
that
skating
upset
career.
that you just quit everything?
Yeah, dude. I was a middle schooler. What do you expect? Of course, I'm going to give in
That's
to
a good
peer
point.
pressure. But we had a kind of a resurgence in our interest in skateboarding back in I don't know what year that was. Maybe it was like 3 or 4 years ago when we all started going to Fowler Park and skating the bowls there. I got back into it a while. I have one Instagram clip of me doing a big bowl and flying out of it. That'll be my swan song for skateboarding because I have far too much to lose nowadays. So can't
I got
risk
to the
it.
point where I could grind on a grind reel. That was it. That was the best I could do.
Don't worry, Jacob. You come over to play a little Tony Hawk's and put some whiskey in me. Some whiskey! I'll show you how to dark slide. Don't you worry. Speaking of just phenomenal video games. Now, this is kind of speaking ahead. We have no idea if it's going to be phenomenal, but as Naughty Dog, so I'm expecting the best. We got a Last of Us Part 2 inside the story video. And obviously, it's a little odd seeing this after all the controversy surrounding the spoilers that leaked. So I'd love to hear, Preston, you have a general idea of what's going on in the story. And now you've seen the inside the story video. How did you react to this?
I thought it was a cool video.
I agree.
That's how I felt. I'm just
Yeah.
I'm dying to play it because I only know
Yeah,
one
I'm just
spoiler,
ready
which
for
we
it to
won't
come
share
out.
here. And I feel like in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much of a spoiler at this point because it
Yeah.
was something we probably expected. But if anything, the controversy surrounding the story and some of the decisions in this game, I may be speaking ignorantly here, but just has me even more excited to play it. So I just feel bad for the team. I feel bad for Neil Druckmann, but
Yeah.
they're trucking on.
I saw that IGN, when they uploaded that video, they didn't turn off dislikes or likes and or comments, and it had been like about a week from this massive controversy. So clicking on that video and seeing it just being like dislike bombed, I was reminded and was like, "Holy crap! Like this is still going on. Like people are still losing their minds about this."
Yeah, people, the internet never forgets. That'll be a meme probably for the foreseeable future to some extent.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So hopefully the critical
Absolutely.
acclaim of this game that I'm anticipating will outweigh the the anger towards the story decisions that seem to be taken out of context for the most part. But all we can hope now is that the game kicks as much ass as I'm assuming it will. in
Yeah,
June.
for sure.
I wonder if this is going to be good controversy, like surrounding
dude,
this game.
I think all publicity, good or bad, if it's bringing attention to whatever it is you're promoting, is a good thing.
Yeah, like I wonder if more people want to play the game now just to prove a point. I don't know if people care that much because I know a lot of people already wanted to play the game. Like, come on,
Yeah,
it's
dude.
The Last of
Yeah.
Us.
I mean, that's the thing. Last of Us is its story. I mean, gameplay's also really great, but Last of Us is its story. So if anything, pretend it's the worst story you've ever seen. If you want a beautiful technical gameplay experience, you can expect that from Naughty Dog anyway. So even if you hate the story, I mean, play it for at least the technical aspect at this point because they're
Yeah.
some of the best.
Well, maybe
in the
that's enough for
industry.
you. Maybe it's not enough for someone else.
And that's me sort of being a hypocrite because I always say gameplay trumps presentation, it trumps story, but those are important elements. But when it comes to Naughty Dog, they are the trifecta typically of presentation, story, and gameplay. So all I can hope is that Last of Us beyond its story will have innovative gameplay, something new, something fresh that stands out from the original at the very least.
I think the coolest thing gameplay wise is every enemy character having a name to it and them being able to call out to whether like their dogs or
Oh wow, dude, that's super immersive in the sense that you're killing Jim. Like you
Yeah,
killed
exactly.
Jim.
I think
Like
that's
I don't know Jim's story.
I think that could impact gameplay. Maybe make you want to play more stealthy because you don't want to kill like Jim, because if Jim has a name, then Jim might also have a wife or children or something.
Well, how's that different from me like destroying you in Destiny 2 PvP? Like, oh, I killed John Poobah. I wonder if his family's gonna think now that he's dead. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's the same thing for sure.
I killed him with my what is that?
My
hand cannon
Yallarhorn.
called? Yeah, my Yallarhorn.
But
that's a good point.
Yeah, I do think that I mean that's one of the main cores of this game is like the cycle of violence and revenge and stuff. So I think it's cool that they're trying to like kind of incorporate that into their gameplay, because if Ellie is killing these people that, you know, not that enemies don't have name, or like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I can't remember a game where I've like this, where I've killed somebody and other people actually react to it like on a level more than just like, oh no, there's a dead body, and then they just start like their walking animation again. You
Mhm.
know, it really seems like they're trying to make killing somebody even more of an impact than it was in The Last of Us. And I think it had a like it was impactful killing somebody in The Last of Us. I mean, when you did a stealth kill on somebody, I mean, you'd bring them in, the camera would go in close. It wasn't like an Uncharted where you just like snack their back and just keep
Yeah.
moving. Like you're like smashing squares. You're like taking their, you know, like the life out of them for like 5 or 6 seconds, you know? So,
Mhm.
I think they've always tried to kind of, you know, uh, make you feel that way, but even more so in this game now. So I definitely think that's interesting.
Mhm.
I think of moments what it would be like if you, for example, you kill Jim and Jim's girlfriend or Jim's brother or Jim's wife is freaking out that they find Jim dead or like panicking about it. That would make it pretty visceral. Like if you take someone's life and like their wife stumbles upon the dead body while you're creeping around trying to get out of wherever you're at, could be pretty intense. So,
Just so I'm
Yeah.
aware, is there someone named Jim that you guys have a vendetta for?
no, dude,
Okay.
don't worry about it, man.
Okay.
I
I
guess
will say that. What are you gonna say?
I was just saying I'm more interested for the these videos that they're putting up every Wednesday. Um I'm I don't really care about the story anymore. Like I honestly don't want to know any more about it. Um it just it I yeah, I have no need to watch any more videos about it. So I am going to be like way more interested in the gameplay like videos that they're putting out, or
Yeah.
whatever, as
Like
opposed
new
to the story
features,
one.
whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know everything but the story in this game.
Yeah.
That is my biggest hope for, I mean, even the tail end of this generation, but the next generation is that even beyond the pretty visuals, all the triangles, all the beautiful lighting is more intelligent, or artificial intelligence just to increase, and just the interactions with characters and games of the game world is just far more advanced than it is now. And hopefully Last of Us Part 2 is at least a preview of what's to come in the next generation
Mhm.
from Naughty Dog, if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to see where stealth gameplay has even gone over the last decade, right? Like it used to just be a good game if, you know, your AI or your AI didn't like just glitch into walls or whatnot. Like when they saw something like a dead body or something, like it was, you were lucky if the game didn't bug out. Now we're like thinking about how the AI interacts with things that you've done to the environment. And like, yeah, it's just cool to see where things are going and where they are right now.
Right.
So
Well, let's rest easy in knowing that no stealth experience will ever trump The Glorious Thief on PS4. So, with that
true.
settled, we can move on to
Amen.
talking about Sony Interactive Entertainment now rebranding, like we have, to PlayStation Studios. Pretty cool intro. I'm going to miss, like Preston and I were talking about this, the Sony Interactive Entertainment presents white text before any gameplay presentation for any Sony first party title. Always
Yeah.
got everyone hyped, but I'm sure this same new fantastic logo will do the same in time. Very much inspired by the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as even quoted by the guys at Sony. So I liked it a lot. I think it makes sense to highlight their now famous characters from all these big games. Spider-Man's missing, of course, because he's sort of like a third party / first party guy. But it is cool to see, Ellie and Kratos and Nathan Drake, the Little Big Planet characters.
Sackboy.
There he is. Sackboy be shown off during this intro animation.
Ratchet and Clank.
You guys have any emotional response to this whatsoever? Or do you just think it's kind of cool?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's whatever.
It's so this is like the brand that they're going to be like this. We're going to get this little like intro every time we play one of their games now. Is that
I
what's
imagine
happening?
so. And they said there will be alterations of this over time as well.
Yeah.
They'll
Isn't
update
it
it.
going after Ghost of Tsushima? They're going to start doing this now?
I believe so.
I don't know.
So it was I wonder if anything I guess there's nothing else first party PlayStation coming out before PlayStation 5.
Nah, dude.
So
Tsushima's it.
that's the swan song of the generation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hopefully we end on a pretty strong note. Last of Us 2 there at the tail end, kind of like on PS3. So
Yeah.
not to reiterate.
Same month as well, I believe.
Yeah,
The
just like the first
came out
one.
in June.
I'm going to do what I did with the first one too. I'm going to get me some Taco Bell and I'm going to sit down and enjoy the Taco Bell and play the game. Just as we did back in 2013.
I'm going to do that in solidarity with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited for that. That's less than a month away. Last of Us Part 2.
I think it's like 34 something days. I think I followed the
we're
Reddit
close.
page. And
This dude knows the exact days.
I was saying
Gotta
the only
count
reason
down
I
and
know
everything.
that is because of the Reddit page I follow. I think they update it.
Beautiful.
That's normal. That's completely normal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gentlemen, let's pivot to Nintendo and talk about old Paper Mario, the Origami King. I've never played Paper Mario. This is the first Paper Mario coming to Switch. How do you guys feel about this?
I'm
don't know.
excited.
Will I play it? Probably. If this pandemic blows over in the near future, it's looking like I'm going to be traveling quite a bit for work. So I'm going to need me some Switch games, and I may
Mhm.
start with Origami King. I never finished. What was I playing before I lost my Switch? Can't remember what that was. I'll probably
when
dabble
did you
in Breath
lose
of the
it?
Wild again.
When did you lose it?
It was a while ago. It doesn't matter, but will I play this? Probably if I'm on the road. So
I thought it looked interesting. I liked how like origami is attacking the kingdom, and like
I like
the
how
2D
Origami's
Paper
attacking
Mario.
them.
The
Yeah.
2D Paper Mario has to overcome the complex origami papers. I think it's cute.
It's a
And they're going to an
riveting
origami
story.
festival. It
Yeah.
says Princess Peach
Oh.
invites Mario and Luigi to the kingdom's origami festival.
I don't know. It looked like to me origami was invading the kingdom, so that's what I took away.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
I'm completely wrong.
this is the big problem, man. Is that it's releasing the same day as Tsushima, and
Yeah.
who knows
I'll put it
what
on the
fate will I
backlog.
choose? It depends on what my work life looks like in July, I guess. But
Yeah.
hopefully, I can afford both.
I'm definitely excited for it, but I think I'm probably going to end up putting it on my Switch backlog along with Fire Emblem, Three Houses,
Play the game.
Luigi's
Play
Mansion
it.
3. I will at some point. Jacob, let's talk
Why?
about
now.
Paper Mario does look cool. The only experience I've had, or past experience I've had with it, was the GameCube one. I believe it was the 1,000-Year Door. I don't know if I ever beat it. I kept getting stuck. I was a stupid kid though, so that's probably why. But anyways, yeah, I am interested in this one. Now on to Fire Emblem. Jacob, I always start these strategy games and I can never get into them. Why is this one different?
This is your moment, Jacob.
What
Sell them.
bores you about them?
Show them.
I don't know. It's just something about them. Like I've tried to play like XCOM before. I've tried to play
Well, see,
Gears
you're asking.
Tactics.
The problem is I don't play a lot of strategy games, so I don't know
And
what
I know
it is about them that you don't like.
I know this isn't in the same vein as those games, but I just know that I'm like a dumb, like average consumer that just likes to smash my controller and watch like heads roll and like bullets fly and stuff.
Well, that's
So
not
it's
going to
like-
be this. This is
So
the farthest thing from that.
The only thing that interests me is like the whole school aspect of it. Talking
That's
You
the
can date
best
your
part about
students.
the
That's what
game.
Jacob did.
Okay.
It's basically just like you're a teacher simulating what it would be like to have kids in a school, like a
Choose your words
Hogwarts-style
carefully here,
school.
Jacob.
But
I know.
can't you date them too?
And
Eventually,
Jacob's
yes.
guilty as charged when
How-
you dated
yeah,
half his
picked
student
one.
body.
How good is that aspect of it compared to like Persona?
That's a good question. I haven't thought about that.
Because I mean, that's like, I think my favorite part of Persona is just like the.
So what do you
chill
like
time.
about the Persona relationships then? Do you like how
I just think
there's
the
lots of
characters are cool.
cutscenes, or because
I
this
just
game has
like-
tons of cutscenes and you get to know all the characters a lot. So if you like getting to know unique anime style characters, then yeah, you're gonna love this game because they're all
Okay.
interesting in their own rights and they all have cutscenes with you personally throughout the whole game.
All
And they
right.
all have like 6 cutscenes each.
The,
like
the
it's insane.
problem with this game is there a demo? Do you know?
I don't know that. I want to
Okay.
say there is, but I
Because
don't take my word for it.
Nintendo games, it seems like they don't even drop in value. It's like they get more expensive for some reason.
Yeah, this
So
one's probably
that's
still full price.
yeah, absolutely. So that's such a like massive investment on my end to
I will tell you this, like
do that.
the overall narrative, like the war that's going on between the three kingdoms, and that's how the schools or the school is divided. It's by the three classes, which are the three kingdoms. But that overall story is kind of and it depends like which house you choose. It depends what story is told to you. So that's another cool thing about it. So if you really like the game, you can play it 3 times and you get 3 different stories. But or 3 different perspectives of the same story. But where was I going? I'm just having a complete brain fart right now.
You're losing me.
The game's a huge letdown, is what you're saying, Preston. Shouldn't play it.
No. Like the best part about the game is the narrative. I think with the characters.
Okay,
like that's the fun in this game. So if you think that you would have a lot of fun getting to know characters and use them in combat, like that's another thing. The combat's good for a strategy game. Like it's a little simple. You might want to put it on hard if you want to challenge.
I mean, I might like it more that it's
will.
simple because half the time in these strategy games, there's so many choices and stuff that I like. Yeah. Like I love Divinity Original Sin, but that even verges on like too complex for my stupid brain. Mm-hmm. So
like this game. Another cool thing is each unit you can control what they become. So like, I really like I don't even remember any of the characters' names. I like this chick. I want her to be a knight. I can make her a knight, and I can just give her certain attributes because you get points every week from like what you teach and like how much time you spend with people. And you put those into like their attributes, and whenever their stats get high enough, they can take class exams. And if they pass those exams, which just have a probability chance, depending what their skills are. And if they pass, they become that class. And then they can use new weapons, new movement patterns, that sort of thing. And they're better against certain types of enemies, depending what they're attacking with and just what they are. So if that kind of stuff excites you, you'll love this game. If not, you might get bored after, 10 hours. I don't know.
It's on my list for sure. So we'll see. But back to Paper Mario. The only controversy I've seen with this game is that it doesn't look like it has too many RPG things to it. Mm-hmm. Which I believe I did not play the last one, which was like Paper Mario Sticker Star or something like that. But I think that also had the same issue. I'm not sure. Don't 100% believe me on that. But I don't have a ton of nostalgic for the older games that have like more like I said, RPG. I think they're full on like RPGs. I believe the one I played, the 1000-Year Door one, had a turn-based combat system, if I'm thinking correctly. But yeah, it doesn't look like this one has it. Mm-hmm. But anyways, yeah, at this point I'm talking about stuff that I don't know about. But that's kind of like the only negative thing that I've seen about this game. But besides that, people seem to be pretty excited, and I think it looks pretty cool. So
I kind of miss playing my Switch. That's really why I want to play it. I just want to play my Switch. I don't know why.
Mario Kart recently.
Yeah, we should play Mario Kart.
It's a fun game.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
I'm going to lose because Preston always wins, but
I don't know about that. I beat Preston. We were in Florida recently.
Oh,
for the first time in my life, actually.
Oh,
and I think I proved my point when I used to say this, but no one believed me back in the day. Whoever's in first place rarely gets truly challenged, other than the blue shell. Because if you have an item defending yourself, like no one can stop you but a blue shell. And if you have a horn, you can stop it. So if you're in the middle of the race, you're screwed. That's where you're getting hit by everything. So you get effed over. And because I was like untouched, like I was in the first place for 5 seconds, nothing came at me. So I think it's like sort of an unfair advantage to be in first place. But I say that saying that, like, I don't know if my point is true or not, but it very well could be. So we should play some more, though. I think our best live streams we ever did were Mario Kart. I think we had up to like 30 or 40 people in a live stream once doing Mario Kart.
I think we did.
We had a bunch of community members, too. It was fun. For us, that was a lot.
That was good. That was a lot of people for us.
50,000. So,
yeah, for real.
Good times.
And I think we were drinking that night, too. I think it was a combination of Aces and Mario Kart.
What was the night we were doing Nintendo? It was a Nintendo Tennis. Remember Mario Tennis, man? I used to love
it was called Mario Tennis Aces.
Oh, you said Aces. Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
That's what I was playing a lot of before I lost my Switch. I think that's what I was playing on the plane, too. But yeah, it was Mario Tennis and Mario Kart. We had pizza and drinks.
That game was fun. That's another good game.
I loved Aces. It was good.
I've always wanted to play Mario Party, but I haven't had anyone to play it with. I think that would be a fun Let's Play if we did like a game of that.
I'm up for that. You got to drop $60 to play it, though. Is that worth a Let's Play?
Preston, you want to buy it?
No.
Yeah, if someone gave it to me, I'd gladly do it.
Can we start a GoFundMe?
So
Please buy us this game. We don't really want to play it or buy it. We want to play it once.
I need to play more Smash Brothers.
That's we could do that too. That would be fun too.
We
have all these Nintendo party games
with my Switch. That's a shame you can't like cloud save. Can you cloud save your games?
You can save your save files.
Okay, because I guess at the time you couldn't because all my stuff is gone forever. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
I should probably play Animal Crossing
characters
anyway. I keep forgetting I have Animal Crossing.
You could play
a dinky little house in a weed-covered world with two animals.
Shut up, Jacob.
You could play any other game, Garrett. Come on. Like, anything.
It's the nostalgia in me, man. I can't just.
You need to play the fastest-selling Switch game ever, dude.
Until Paper Mario comes out on July 17th.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Yeah, it's not because of the quarantine. That's not why.
Could be.
I don't know.
Animal Crossing does have a pretty big fan base, though. I mean, both of our sisters, Preston and I's sisters, are Animal Crossing fans. They're not playing currently, that I know of. Is your sister playing, Preston?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because my sister's
playing like every day.
So.
Yeah, I convinced my sister to buy it, and she was worried that she wasn't going to get a lot of playtime out of it. But I think at this point, she's playing like longer sessions than I am.
Mm-hmm. Have you been to her island?
I have.
Nice.
I actually bought her a month of Switch Online so we could visit each other's islands.
What a good brother.
Yeah, that's how hard I tried to get her into this game.
Has anyone ever touched the Nintendo, like the virtual, whatever it's called? Have you guys played any of those games?
I have. I played about an hour of A Link to the Past, and I played some Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
Then I played some Super Tennis as well.
Super Tennis.
Mm-hmm. That's a game that I used to play back in the day. It's cool. It works. It works well.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad.
You can do like save states and stuff. So,
yeah. I want to be honest.
What else?
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah, it's like you can play the Super Nintendo and Nintendo games.
Okay, that's what it's called. So I did download Super Mario World and I think maybe Mega Man. Maybe it was just only Super Mario World.
Yeah, I don't think Mega Man's on there.
Yeah, but that is cool. That's included. That was my one hope with Switch is that I could play some of my favorite Super Nintendo games on Switch at some point. So
yeah,
good enough for me, man. You guys want to talk about Mandalorian Season 2? There's a whole lot of stuff going on that is seemingly excessive at this point, all the people being cast, but I'm mostly excited about it. Boba Fett is supposedly confirmed. I think he's confirmed. I know that the actor who played Jango Fett is supposed to be returning, not returning, but well, I guess returning to the Star Wars universe, but appearing in Season 2 of Mandalorian. Some people think he might be Captain Rex from the Clone Wars. I know Ahsoka Tano's going to be live action with Rosaria Dawson, I believe her name is, which is cool.
Got quite a few characters that we know. I didn't expect
a lot of people being cast in this show too, like all these actors left and right being cast in all these roles. I assume it might be similar to the first season where each actor has their own episode and maybe
it's just going to be like one-off things for the most part.
It could be.
And maybe like one of those characters will be like an overall arc for the whole season. But
yeah,
I imagine like hopefully, I don't know, like I don't want it to get too grand, obviously, because I like what Mandalorian is after the first season. I like how it is like a important story in the grand scheme of things, but also it's little one-off snippets of each episode just being contained where something happens and then, he moves on.
Yeah, so. I will say my favorite aspects of season 1 were when they were together as a crew, especially the last 2 episodes. I guess it was the last 3, maybe the last 2. Mm-hmm. So I hope, at least even if there are one-off episodic type episodes, he's with his crew as he carries on. And I imagine with Baby Yoda, the reason why and I assume he's going to encounter Ahsoka at some point, and that has to do with Baby Yoda, I imagine.
Maybe.
Of which we have no idea the identity of at all right now. We're just still calling him Baby Yoda. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to see it continue. I mean, I don't really have huge ties to Clone Wars. I heard the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7 are absolutely amazing as they tie into Revenge of the Sith. So I wonder if it'll be a situation where I see the last 4 episodes because I'm tempted to watch them because I love Revenge of the Sith. And I've always been interested in watching Clone Wars. I watched a lot of Rebels, but I've never given Clone Wars a lot of time. I've only seen a
Clone
handful
Wars
of episodes.
is better than Rebels.
That's what I hear. I am tempted just for fun at some point if I have nothing else to watch to go back and start it from the beginning.
It's good. It has the problem of having a lot of filler.
That's what I've heard.
Just like
Rebels had some filler
honestly.
too. So
I think Rebels filler is a little worse, just because I like just Clone Wars of the show itself a little more. I just think the animation's better. Not that it's better, but I just like the style more.
I feel you.
But yeah, that's something I need to do too. I need to renew my Disney Plus subscription and watch that new season because I've heard the same thing.
Did you cancel it after Mandalorian?
Yeah.
I want to see the Mandalorian behind the scenes feature because the tech they use to bring that show to life is absolutely fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It's industry altering too, the way they pulled that off because it looks so impressive, but it's in concept pretty simple, but obviously very expensive as well. But apparently Mandalorian season 2 is also coming on time. I think it's September, October, sometime around there.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
didn't grab the date, but the pandemic has not affected season 2, so
yeah.
I'm excited.
I mean, it makes sense that the filming was already wrapped by the point of the pandemic.
I guess, yeah. I didn't really keep up with like their production schedule or anything.
Because usually they wrap up filming a long time, and it takes a long time to edit.
Yeah. Because I didn't know if like reshoots would be a problem. They'd be like reshooting stuff closer to the
that's a good point. Yeah,
debut of the season. But
overall,
overall, man, I'm excited, gentlemen. That brings us to AskIOG, dude. AskIOG is the part of the show where we answer your questions submitted through any of our socials at ItsObviousGaming, the AskIOG section of our Discord channel, or emailed to us at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. And if you want your question read live on the show, you can always include the hashtag AskIOG so they won't accidentally read like a private message or a personal question you guys have to ask us, which is totally welcome. We want to read that by accident, so always include the hashtag AskIOG. First one tonight comes from Birthday Speedster, Mr. Sam Harris. He says, "Oi, how are you? You lovely, sensual men."
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. We're doing well. I hope you're surviving and thriving in the midst of this crisis. I've been working still at the soul-sucking gulag that is retail. Anyway, here's my question. What was something you believed as a kid but turned out to be something else? For me, it was finding out Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, were really my parents. Well, Sam, that's news to me, and I'm really upset that you just revealed that to me. So thank you for ruining my life. Who just plain as day lied to my face, thus putting me on track towards total cynicism and paranoia. Love to hear your answers. Have a great week. Bonus question. Are farts just food ghosts exiting your body? I can answer that quickly. That is a fair hypothesis. I'd say it is confirmed.
Are farts just food ghosts exiting your body? No.
I would agree with that if someone presented that to me as a hypothesis.
No, that makes no sense. Because
The
you're
ghost of the
farting,
food
you're
that
farting
you
feces, Garrett.
destroyed.
Feces is broken down food. I'm not entertaining this idea. In
Scientifically,
the
yes, but in a supernatural sense, they could certainly be ghosts.
No.
So I know Preston can relate a lot to food ghosts right now.
Yeah,
Preston's been saying his protein farts could kill a man.
Yeah, they're pretty insane. I'm honestly, I have a flight tomorrow morning, and I'm horrified about
Just gassing the whole plane. It's gonna be a terrorist attack.
Why are you worried? It's the other people that should be worried.
Well, I want the other passengers to have a nice flight.
It's gonna be chemical warfare. 10,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Committed by Preston Pugh. His anus.
What is something you believed as a kid turned out to be something else?
This is kind of a random one. I've never been a big Billy Ray Cyrus fan, but of course, watching Hannah Montana, he's presented as this all-loving, supportive, encouraging father who loves his daughter. Well, I went to a Freedom concert with my father. I was literally at what's called a Freedom concert. My dad was invited for some reason, and we met Sean Hannity, Angelina Jolie's father. What's his name? I'm blanking right now. Famous actor.
I know who you're talking about. I'm blanking on his name too.
I'm like the names are escaping me tonight, but met some actors, met some politicians, met some news folk, but they had Charlie Daniels open the show, which is pretty cool. a bunch of other pretty well-known country artists, but Billy Ray Cyrus was the headliner. And this guy comes out in a leather jacket, sunglasses, rings on all of his fingers, and is just singing Achy Breaky Heart, and all these old women in the front row are losing their minds. And he just like dip his sunglasses down and keep singing the song and put him back up, and he'd take his jacket off and pretend like he's going to throw it to the crowd. He's like nonchalantly throwing pics to everyone, just flaunting his stardom. And I'm like, this is not the man that was presented to me on Disney Channel. What happened? So that was kind of a Santa Claus situation to me, is that the all-loving Hannah Montana father on TV was not the man in real life. So that's one. I don't know why that's the first one that comes to mind.
I can't even think of one.
This is a hard question, Sam.
Yeah.
Why you gotta hit us with this?
I never believed in Santa Claus.
Did you not?
No, I don't think so.
Dude, I was all in on that when
Preston, no wonder you are the way you are, dude. You didn't believe in Santa Claus.
This explains everything.
Dude, I do remember asking for Dragon Ball Z Budokai for the PS2, the first DBZ fighting game. And
I watched you puke while playing that game.
Yeah, I know. I withdrew my asking of it because I played so much of it at Garrett's house. So like he said, I vomited. I played so much. So
I'll never forget that. You vomited while fighting as Vegeta and kept fighting after you threw up.
So I told my mom, I was like, I don't want that anymore. I want I think it was Shadow the Hedgehog instead.
The game sucks.
That game sucks so bad. Even back then, it's like I was just smiling, like, "Oh, this is so fun." I knew deep in my soul how horrible the game was. Yeah, so I proposed to my mother. I was like, "Hey, like, I'm assuming you asked Santa for Dragon Ball Z Budokai. Can you just ask him to, just go ahead and give it to me? I want it again." And she said, "No, Santa can't do that." But I knew at that time that Santa wasn't real, but I was trying to game the system by trying to come up with a reason why Santa would give it to me, thus putting pressure on her to buy me the game. But it did not work. She was like, "No."
You're like Santa, 16 years old, like, "Hey mom, you think Santa can, help me out here?"
Yeah.
I think I knew too, since we're on the subject, but I didn't want to believe that it was true, so much so that it took me till I was, a little too old to realize that he wasn't real. But like my grandma broke the news to me in the car. I think we were
Your
going to
grandma of all people.
Yeah, it was my grandma.
That's a dark story.
I was at that age where I was where she thought that I didn't know anymore, but I kind of knew, but I also didn't want to believe it. So it kind of just, a little tear just came down when she told me. I was like, "Oh man, the world isn't that magical after all."
I'm sorry, Jacob.
I know.
I didn't believe in leprechauns until I was in preschool, and our teachers took us from our main classroom to another classroom for some extracurricular activity we were doing. It was on St. Patrick's Day, which I was unaware of as a child. But we come back to my class, and the classroom looked destroyed. They had flipped tables, knocked over chairs, spread papers everywhere, mutilated the little kitchen playset we had. And my teacher was like, "Oh," she's like, "The leprechauns have been here. They're looking for their gold." And me and my classmates were like, "Oh, what the hell?" It scared me to death when I saw it. It looked like a crime scene. And they said that the leprechauns had attacked our classroom. And for 2 weeks, man, I was paranoid the leprechauns were going to hunt me down, man. But I believed in leprechauns for a while because of that. It was very effective.
Wow.
Okay.
Never believed in the Easter Bunny. I always knew it was my parents putting a little basket together for me, which I always appreciated, but I played along for a while.
I knew the Easter Bunny was fake before Santa Claus. I was able to figure that one out. But for a while, I did believe in the big bunny.
Man, the big bunny. You guys were smart kids, because I remember my parents were pretty convincing with the milk and cookies, because they would put out, obviously on Christmas Eve, the milk and cookies, and I'd come down the following morning, and of course, many of the cookies would be eaten, but one would be bitten in half and left behind. And
smart.
All the milk but a sip would be consumed. And I'd think,
you're
what kind of asshole
Santa
doesn't eat the whole cookie? Yeah. I'm like, why are you just going to bite half a cookie? I can't even eat that now.
But then you also got to be like, "Oh, he's going to a lot of houses, he can't finish all these. He's probably had a lot at this point."
I mean, my whole family was really going for me. My grandparents would be like, "Oh, did you hear that?" I'd be like, And they'd be like,
Dude.
there's reindeer on the roof. I'd be like, ah! I'd be like, it's Rudolph. I'd freak out.
This one time, my uncle and my grandma like freaked out because they heard like something on the radio. They said that Santa was up in the sky, like right now above my grandma's house back in the day. So like all of us kids just ran outside and like we saw these lights in the sky. We're like, oh, is that him? But I think it was probably just a plane going through. But we were like, dude, there he is.
I would wake up on Christmas morning and my gifts wouldn't even be out, and my parents would be like, "Oh, go back upstairs, like Santa hasn't come yet."
Oh my! No wonder you didn't believe, man. Wow.
I think
can't
to the
believe
point
this.
when I was like in, I mean, I'm sure I believed, at some point in my life to when I was like so little, like I can't even remember, but definitely when I was like in 5th grade and beyond, I was fully aware it was a sham for sure. And I also think I've heard, I worked with some guys that won't even tell their kids that Santa exists because they don't think it's fair that they're like working their butts off to make all this money to like make Christmas happen, and then just some imaginary guys taking all the credit for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I kind of understand that. I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I get it.
You're gonna know your daddy works hard for your gifts, boy.
I think I would still do it just because I just enjoyed the idea so much as a kid.
Yeah,
I know.
No,
It's kind of like the same idea as like watching a Disney show. Like you just like the magic that happens.
Yeah.
So, or going to Disney World, so much magic.
I think Disney World's gonna be magical to the day I die, man. I'm gonna be an old man on my walker strutting through Magic Kingdom. That's if this pandemic ever passes. And the same magic's gonna hit me every time. Never fails.
Gonna be an old man riding rock and roller coaster.
Yep, that might be the death of me. Is rock and roller coaster when I'm like,
that's not a bad death.
It's a good way to go out.
It's a pretty kick-ass rocking way to go out. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Yeah.
Second question: are nachos just disorganized tacos?
I think almost every Mexican dish can be a disorganized or organized thing.
It's all the same ingredients. Yeah.
I don't think that's true, because a taco isn't a taco if it's,
if you take a taco and smash it with a hammer, it's nachos.
There's no such thing as a disorganized taco, so you can't classify.
We got to give Taco Bell credit for their human centipede creation. That's a little innovative with taco ingredients.
I was a big fan of that thing. I'm so sad they took it away.
Well, they got my my fiery shell back, so that's all that matters to me. It was a shame when it was gone, but it's here to stay.
I think nachos get like a lot of hate for some reason.
What do you think that is?
I think
it's because they're so messy.
I guess, but I see a lot of people refer to nachos as just like chips with cheese. Like, that's not nachos.
That's what Taco Bell calls them.
That's chips and dip.
Yeah.
But they have like a nacho supreme is what nachos are. You've got your bed of
cheese,
chips. You have your
tomatoes,
meat, your beans,
all the good
your
stuff.
Cheese, all of that stuff. It's a full. It's like a full on thing.
Yep.
And of course, like I love bar nachos, dude. Just a freaking mountain with chicken, chili, jalapenos, tomatoes. Just like an absolute mountain. Like that is so good.
Dude, what was that place we went to? I already forgot the name. Supremo Taco. Huge letdown in Atlanta. If you live in Atlanta, you've been to Supremo, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because Preston and I waited in a hour line at least.
Yeah, dude, I cannot believe we didn't I had something in me tell me like, just go to Taco Bell, but I didn't say it.
Dude, I wish you had, because it was a huge letdown. I mean,
we would have saved massive money and would have got a much more enjoyable meal.
Yeah, you said that while we were eating, because I got one of my tacos was basically smashed with a hammer when we opened it up, but the food was fine, but it was nothing to write home about whatsoever. So just go to Taco Bell. I mean, there's much better taco places in general than Supremo, but always go to Taco Bell instead of that place. Dude, next one comes from Whiskey Hero. He says, hey guys, what are y'all's opinions on the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order DLC?
Yeah, did you guys see this?
My reaction was it's about time. I've been waiting a long time for New Game Plus. I think it's a little too late for me to actually jump back into that game, but it's cool that it's here. And you can wield a red lightsaber. You can wear the Sith outfit. That's cool. I know there's like the training mode where you can fight waves of enemies.
I think it's more like an arena mode, but yeah.
Yeah. So that's
I thought
pretty
it was cool how you can like literally customize your arena experience. Like you can place enemies around the arena. And I think
Yeah.
you can control like when they spawn and whatnot. Or I don't know if like they all just start there where you place them. I didn't really look too much into it, but that seems cool to me. Is it enough for me to like play the game again? I don't
No.
know. Not necessarily, but
Yeah.
for those that are playing it for the first time, that's a cool thing to either sidetrack into or just play when you're done, you know?
definitely.
So it's cool stuff.
For sure.
But
I
I
really
would rather
want
just
some,
see the new game.
I need some story DLC.
Yeah.
That's what I need to get me to actually reinstall that game. I need something a little more than this, but it's definitely cool that it's there.
Have they said there's story DLC coming?
No.
Okay.
I don't think there will be.
I don't know. Apparently,
Bummer.
Respawn they did an interview with IGN saying that they definitely had new things to discuss at the EA Play thing. So who knows? Maybe there will be something more substantial than what the free update had.
That would be nice. Yeah, same for me. Not quite enough to go back, but I'm glad it's here. Next one's from Big Nasty. It says, been grinding Hunt. I think it's time for you to return. Top band from each decade. 60s onward. Guess I should add mine. Beatles, Black Sabbath, Metallica, the Brian Jonestown Massacre, My Chemical Romance, Balance and Composure, or Turnover, Can't Decide. Man, that's tricky. 70s would be the Doors, probably, I imagine. 80s would be, man, there's so many good 80s bands. Man, I'd have to like really rack my brain for this. Doors, I think Zeppelin 70s as well. I have to look this up.
I don't know. That was before my time, boy.
Start
Yeah, I
date.
don't
This
even
is
know
all
if I could
bands my
come
dad
up
would
with
play when
one
I was
band.
growing up. 68 was when Zeppelin started, so I guess you could technically say Zeppelin was 60s. Maybe Zeppelin over Doors for me.
I think they were more of a thing in the 80s, though. Or the 70s.
These rock bands. It's always been rock bands for me.
Mhm.
70s. I'm not a Beatles guy. I've never been a Beatles guy. I don't undermine their success, and I fully admit a lot of their songs are catchy, but it's just never vibed with me for some reason.
I don't think a lot of people like our age are or younger. I just don't think a lot of people even care about the Beatles,
Dude,
which is fine.
So many bands in the 70s. Holy crap. Ramones is big for me. Leonard Skinner. Fleetwood Mac is kind of up there too. If I had to pick one, I'd go with Leonard Skinner just for Freebird alone, man. That song is epic. I'm not even trying to be like the meme or anything. Like that song I actually enjoy. So I do like Ramones a lot though, as well.
Mm-hmm.
Doors are in there. The Clash, Kiss, Styx, Journey, Judas Priest. Too many to pick. Wow. Okay.
I went to
80s
go
rock
see
bands.
Styx with my mom, dude. It was a bunch of old men up there singing. It was fun, I guess. You know, I didn't really see the appeal of it.
80s would probably be Metallica for me too.
Yeah.
The one I've listened to the most, at least out of all those.
That's probably the most that I've listened to out of the 80s, either Metallica or like AC/DC, or were they more 90s AC/DC? They were sort of both, right?
It looks like they were in the 70s too, the tail end.
I thought they were early 90s too.
Smashing Pumpkins, Soundgarden, Radiohead, Green Day, Foo Fighters, Stone Temple Pilots. These are all like the mainstream rock bands.
What did you type in?
Oh, Blink
Like, what are you
182,
looking at?
easy from the 90s. What am I talking about? Definitely Blink 182.
Wait, when did their first album come out?
Blink?
Yeah.
Sometime in the 90s.
Oh. I thought you had a list.
There are some good ones in here though, like Rage Against the Machine. Like any band that was on the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater soundtrack, honestly.
Yeah.
Offspring's up there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Pantera was cool. Third Eye
I
Blind.
got a buddy
not
at
so
work
much.
who is really into the Offspring.
Korn. I like Korn. I had a youth group in Florida that played Blind by Korn as their intro song every week. Never forget that.
I've never listened to Korn. Like, I've heard a few songs, but I've never really just been into it.
Yeah, their first couple albums are pretty cool. 2000s rock bands, probably Sum 41. If I had to
Some
pick.
41?
Yeah, dude.
That's what you pick?
Yeah.
What about, like, My Chemical Romance?
System of a
Or-
Down's awesome too.
Yeah, or Slipknot.
Yeah, My Chemical Romance. Those are good ones.
Fall Out Boy. Old Fall Out Boy.
And if I had to pick one, probably My Chemical Romance, maybe System of a Down. Fall Out Boy's good. Anything
New
pop
Fall Out-
punk in the early 2000s was the best.
New Fall Out Boy is so bad. Have you guys listened to any of their new music?
Yeah,
I
I
have
actually
not.
think it's really good, Jacob.
No, you're wrong. You're just wrong. No one likes it.
And 2010s bands.
Yeah, I don't really know if I
Paramore.
can answer this one because I don't really listen to old music at all.
Yeah, I'm just gonna agree with whatever you say.
But I do like talking about music.
2010s. I got to think of the metal bands I was listening to most. In the early 2010s, probably Asking Alexandria.
Yeah.
Not so much these days, but back in the day, yes.
They just came out with a new
Devil Wears
album.
Prada, all those bands. August Burns Red. For today. In terms of this decade, we've only just begun. Presently, Velamaya.
Yeah, my first foray into that kind of music was A Day to Remember first, and then Asking
I didn't even think about
Alexandria.
A Day to Remember. Yeah, Day to Remember. If I had to pick 2010s, A Day to Remember, probably overall, I listen to them the most. And I can't overlook Ghost Inside. They're my favorite band, but could leave them out of the discussion for now. Day to Remember, 2010s. 2020, Velamaya. So, what was the second question? I completely forgot what it was.
Are you gonna play Hunt Showdown again? I think that's what it was.
Oh yeah, I did dabble in Hunt a couple of weeks ago. I played a few matches and I absolutely loved it. So I'd love to play more when time permits. But
How much
Dude,
different is it than since the last you played?
not much. I mean, there's been a few updates with weapons and technical updates, but it's more or less the same as what 1.0 was when it first launched. But Big Nasty Man, if you've been grinding Hunt, let's play together. I could use a teammate again to return to the Bayou. Love it. I think there was one other question in here. No, we're good. Big Finale comes from Lale. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I
What's
don't know
your-
if it's like Lale or
Lale? Lale?
I don't know.
Lale?
man.
Lale? Please
I feel bad.
correct us on Discord when you can so we can pronounce your name correctly. What's your most memorable non-human encounter / interaction?
So this could be like something with a pet
Yeah.
or
Or an
What was the question?
extraterrestrial.
Could you repeat it?
What's your most memorable non-human encounter / interaction?
Oh, okay, I completely blanked out when you asked that. So maybe an alien just did something to me. Maybe that's mine.
Oh no.
Quite possibly. I have a very distinct memory of holding a baby potbelly pig at the Renaissance Fair when I was a child. It was
Why?
adorable. Because you could hold the potbelly pigs.
No, I mean, why is that your memory?
Because I always think about that as interacting with animals. One of the first ones that stands out to me is
Holding a pig.
holding a potbelly pig as a baby. And the other one is when my parents surprised us with our wiener dog Sam when he was a puppy.
Mhm.
He was small enough to fit in a little red sock. And it's my grandma and my mom asked my sister and I what we would name my grandma's new dog, and we just came up with Sam over time. We had no idea they were actually preparing this dog for my family. So we showed up to my grandma's house and they showed that Sam was our puppy and he's this adorable little wiener dog. I'll never forget that surprise.
Mhm.
I will never forget spooning my pit bull Peachy when Peachy was still in Atlanta. I would hold this big frog of a dog and in my arms, we'd fall asleep and remain in that position all night. And we'd wake up and she'd still be in my arms. So
That dog needed so much attention. I remember.
And I was fine with that,
anytime-
man.
Oh, I know you were. Yeah.
I want another one just like it at some point.
Mhm.
So if I'm not traveling a whole lot, I'd love to adopt another dog. So those
She
are
was
probably my
really
top
sweet.
3 most memorable interactive non-human moments.
Mine's got to be when I met Zelda, my dog, for the first time, because I'd always just wanted to name my dog Zelda, once I got my own dog. And just when we drove up to see her, she came just running out there and I was petting her and stuff. And then the owner told me, yep, this is Zelda. And it just
Already
blew my
named
mind
Zelda.
that her name was already Zelda.
That's when you knew it was meant to be.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
I have a couple dogs memories. One was a bad one and one's a good one. So I'll start with a good one, I guess. My grandpa, he's passed away. He's been passed away for a long time now, but he used to have an old dog named Nikki, and I wouldn't get to see Nikki a whole lot, but she was like your traditional farm dog. She just likes to run around the farm, do her own thing, you know what a farm dog is. So, just over the years, like just
Likes to milk cows, all that stuff.
yeah, you got it. So for whatever reason, I really bonded with this dog. And I don't know, I don't know, this dog just knew me somehow. Like it just knew what I was feeling. It always knew like when I wanted it to be around, or when I was like, busy or doing something. Like, I don't know. I just really enjoyed Nikki. And then just one day I came up and I think it must have happened recently because I didn't know she wasn't there when I came up this year. And I was like, where's Nikki? Where's Nikki? And my grandma was like, oh, she went away. And I was like, oh, like, what do you mean? What do you mean she went away? So that was a heart-wrenching moment for me as a little kid. And I was like upset that whole trip when we were up there. We stayed for like a week and I was just upset the whole time. So that sucked. And then like not too much longer after that, my grandfather passed away. So all that just sucked. Man. But my bad story, well, that after ending that one kind of sounds bad, but I love that dog. But the bad one was when I got bit near my ankle on my right leg by a police German Shepherd in my old neighborhood growing up when I was a kid.
Jeez.
This was, I'm pretty sure I was in first grade, somewhere around that area, early, just starting school. And I was walking to the bus stop one morning, and this guy was just having his dogs out, and they always did their thing in the early mornings, and he would just let them do their thing, take shits in the yard, whatever they did. So I was just walking, and anytime someone got close to these dogs, they would bark. Like, how some dogs are. They just ravenous barks, but they usually would never leave the yard. And I think for whatever reason, this guy was in his house and he wasn't paying attention. And I was just like, I wasn't like, so they were in their yard on one side of the road and I was on the other side of the road. And I wasn't like going to get close to them. So I stayed, lanes apart. But for whatever reason, I was just walking. Once I got like halfway through the yard, like, on the street, one just came charging at me and just bit me. And my mom saw it because I guess she was outside doing something in the yard when I was walking to the bus stop. And she saw it, and it was like a whole thing. And, nothing, I didn't really have any really bad damage. I didn't have to go get surgery or anything. It was
You're still walking today, thankfully.
Exactly, yes. But it like terrified me. And honestly, it like made me terrified of dogs. And like to this day, I'm still a little bit scared of dogs. Like I'm always kind of hesitant towards them because of that, like it traumatized me a little bit, but also I didn't even want to have a dog for myself for the most part because I was just scared of them, right? So I don't know, it kind of like ruined an experience for me. I would like to think, but also it's not to say like I don't want to have one someday because I do.
Another
I
Nikki.
love most dogs that I meet. I'm just not. I guess I'm not great at playing with them or interacting with them just because I don't have a lot of experience doing it.
Yeah, I would say my parents' dogs were pretty ravenous towards you too every time you came over.
Dude, your dogs hated me, and I never knew why.
It's probably because they could sense your predisposition towards dogs.
Yeah.
From the fear that was embedded into you.
My hesitation. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jacob, I think you should get your own new Nikki one day.
I would love that, dude. I would love just like a sweet little dog.
They're great companions.
Kind of like Zelda, actually, Preston.
Zelda, I love that dog so much, dude. Mm-hmm. Every time Preston comes over, I'm like, yeah, dude, do you think you can bring Zelda over and like just hang for a bit?
You can go do something else if you want. You can just leave her here.
Yeah, I will gladly. I doubt she'll ever need a babysitter, but if she ever needs one, I will gladly take care of Zelda.
I doubt I can.
Just putting that out there.
Leave my parents' house again if she's even going to come with me. She's like obsessed with my mom.
Oh no,
she's so sweet. Well, Jacob, thanks for taking us out on a somber note there, man.
Yeah, didn't mean to.
Good news is that you do like dogs when you meet some nice ones, and you may
Zelda
have one of your own one
in
day.
my bed.
Is that her back there?
Yeah, Alexa, turn on bedroom.
I love that Preston has a smart house.
There she is.
Oh my!
She's ready for bed.
Yeah, she's ready to cuddle.
Yeah.
Jacob, not Jacob, both of you. I'm used to just talking to Jacob most of the time these days. Gentlemen, that was episode 231 of the It's Obvious podcast. To all of you who wrote in to AskIOG, thank you so much for doing so. We encourage you guys to continue sending in questions week in and week out to fuel the podcast now that we're back every single Monday at midnight Eastern. We could use those questions to fill out the end of every podcast. We love you guys. We appreciate you so much. Enjoyed talking about the news, gentlemen. I'm glad to be back in video format and audio on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, all the services that are out there. And we'll drop all the links, of course, in Discord, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the socials. Be interacting in all those platforms now as well going forward. So if you follow us on any of our socials, you can count on us posting more often, interacting more often. And of course, as always, we invite everyone listening to join the Discord if you haven't already, because it's an amazing place, an amazing community full of kind, supportive, hilarious, talented people sharing stuff in community content, the general tab, gaming, movies, TV, video games, everything you can imagine. It's a thriving place. We'd love to see you there. So join if you can. And that link is available in the description of every single service this podcast exists on. So join us. But gentlemen, do you have any closing thoughts for this evening?
I got a couple. I just want to piggyback off what you just said with Discord, especially. Like, Discord is, I think we've all said this, it's like our favorite thing that we've sort of, just organized or created, like our channel on Discord. Like, I nothing makes me happier than seeing just people constantly just not only getting to know each other, but there's always engaging conversation in multiple channels on the Discord, and it just always gives me something to look forward to read. And like it's almost become a ritual at this point where I'm looking at conversations before I even like play a game when I get my computer at night. Like, I just enjoy the community, and there's a lot of cool people here. If you're not a part of the Discord, I'd highly recommend just giving it a chance, or just
even
lurking.
Come lurk.
That's
for
what
a while.
I do.
Like,
Yeah,
dip your
I
toe
lurk all
in
the
with
time.
lurking, and then join into the conversation. Everyone's very welcoming.
I guarantee you won't dislike it. I mean, maybe you will, but I doubt it. But yeah.
You have nothing to lose.
Right.
Is what we're saying.
And also, just give us some feedback. Is there something you wanted to see from us now that we're trying to, do new things, or just put more content out in general? What's something that you've always wanted to see from us, or, just what do you want to see more of?
Yeah, that's a great question, because our Wednesday, like I said, we're shooting for every Monday podcast you can count on. Most Fridays, if not all, you can count on a Let's Play. That middle Wednesday day is somewhere we'd like to experiment more. So whether it is like a reaction video or a review, if there's any other content ideas that you guys have that you'd like to see from us in particular, that's something we've either done in the past or nothing we've ever explored before. Let us know in the comments or on Discord or email, social media, wherever you feel like letting us know. And we will certainly take that into consideration going forward.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Poobah?
I can pretty much just echo what you guys said. I'm just excited to move forward and do this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same. It's good to be back in full swing. You guys can count on it every Monday. We love you to bits, and we will see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys for joining
Later.
us.